All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is the Political Spotlight. It is a special Saturday night episode. Sorry for coming to you without much notice. I know normally we are not here on Saturdays. However, we're going to start probably from this point forward just to give everybody a little bit of an understanding because of the amount of information that's going to be coming our way, because of the candidate interviews. We might even need to start doubling some up, doing 2 candidate interviews an episode. We probably are going to go to at least a 6-day a week, if not maybe a 7-day a week run until the election is over. It's the 14th of October. That means I don't need to look that far away. I can look right here. It's the 14th of October, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 24 more days if you're counting today. 23 days counting tomorrow until the election, folks. So probably over the next 23 days, we'll be coming to you live at some point during the day, during our normal 9 o'clock hour through the election. So just FYI, that's something that you guys need to know, so you guys can kind of adjust your time. Now, I probably will work with Josh on Fridays to make sure that we're not going live at the same time. So maybe Friday evenings might be 9:30ish or something like that. But I want to give him his due course and not overstep him. So we'll find out what goes on. But it's Saturday. We're here. We have a good guest lined up for a candidate interview. The gentleman is a Muncie resident, Muncie citizen, a District 1 citizen through and through. Is running as a Democrat candidate for the Muncie City Council at large District 1 seat. The name is Steve Craig. This man has been working hard down in District 1, burning through the shoes, knocking on the doors, going out to events. So we're going to be talking with him. He's going to be joining us just in a few moments. We're going to be able to ask him questions. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and ask you, anyone that's here from Muncie, or if you know someone from Muncie, specifically if you know somebody from the southeast side of Muncie, which is District 1, please share this show with them. You can share the link. You can tell them how to jump on here and find us. We're at The Political Spotlight on YouTube, which is youtube.com/at The Political Spotlight, all one word. You can find us, or we have the direct link, so you can catch that as well. It will be here tonight when we are watching live, or obviously it will be here always and through from here until the rest of eternity, I guess, or until we get banned off of YouTube, one or the other. So check that out. All right. After the interview, we're going to go for as long as the candidate wants to go. I always give them that option. We can get this done in 10 minutes. We can get it done in 30 minutes. We can talk for an hour and a half. It does not matter to me. It's up to him and it's up to the audience. So that's what we're going to be doing. After the interview, though, because it's a Saturday night, it's a little laid back. We're going to have kind of a little laid back session. It's not going to be too crazy, but we're going to clean some things up and talk about a couple things. So please hang tight for all of you that are not here from Muncie. We're going to be talking about things that affect your areas as well. And keep in mind, just because we're not talking about your area doesn't mean this isn't something that you can apply back in your area, or maybe you hear something that this candidate says that you want someone in your neck of the woods to do. So keep that in mind, and this is very important for everybody wherever you're at. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be welcoming Mr. Steve Craig to the show. Steve, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining us. I know we've planned this out for a while, and this is the third time's the charm. So I'm glad we finally got you here. And so if you will, just right off the bat, this is the race that the majority of people have wanted to hear from. I don't know why that is necessarily, but I have had more people messaging me and calling me and texting me and asking me about trying to get you and your opponent on. And I know why they want to hear from your opponent, and that's because he's been on the council now for quite some time, and we still haven't heard from him. You are getting out in the community, and people are hearing from you. Other people want to hear from you and know what you're about. So why don't we start off with just you telling people a little bit about yourself, your background, and your biography, if you can.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just a regular guy. I grew up on the south side of town. I've always been here. I graduated Southside High School. I work in my district. I work at Alva still. I love the city. I love the south side. But like a lot of residents over here, we feel like we've been neglected for a long time. We feel like we're disenfranchised. This council wasn't doing anything for me. My opponent wasn't. He's been up there for a long time. I haven't felt like things have gotten better while he's sitting there. And sometimes you just got to stop complaining. You got to do something. And so this is the way I chose to do something, was to run for that seat and see if I can't bring the changes that I want, my family wants, and the other residents of this district want, I think.
Sure. So District 1 is it's a really tight-knit group of citizens. It's a real tight-knit community. It's historically been a Democrat seat. It was flipped. It was flipped in 2019 by a candidate that ran as a Republican. He had been a longtime Democrat, and a lot of people took some issue with that. And I'll be honest, I think that you probably would have been a little bit more happy with things that Ralph would have done had Ralph been able to stay. I'm normally not happy with people that leave before the end of their term is up, but he had some health issues, so it was kind of a thing that he couldn't escape. So that is the case. But I know I've been very disappointed in the coverage that your district has got out of the council member, and I can definitely feel your pain. When you're going around door to door and you're talking to people in your district, what are you hearing from the citizens that you're talking to as far as their thoughts and feelings of where the city's at, where it's headed, where it needs to be going?
A lot of it's roads. I mean, that's really, really big thing. Mental health and, the drugs. I'm also hearing, they're fed up with the Southway project. It's gone nowhere. It's just looked like that forever. There's no updates on when anything's going to happen. I guess because they're having HVAC issues, they can't fix the parking lot. I don't know how that works out. But like I say, I'm new to this. This is my first time running as a politician. Maybe that's the way it is. I don't believe so. So
Yeah.
You know, and that's that. Like say we're neglected. You know, we feel disenfranchised. You come over here and promise something, and then it's looked like that for how long? That's just not right. That's not what this district deserves. That's not what the city deserves. And my opponent, he did take credit for that in his start press the other day. So, you know, if that's his project, then why is he letting him be stagnant?
I saw that, and honestly, that was really weird that he did that, because I'll be honest, I gotta go and look back, and this is not, I don't know this for certain, but I don't know that he was on the council when that first started being talked about. I got to go back and look, but it was weird that he talked about that, because first of all, I don't think, like you said, honestly, since the city got involved with that situation, it actually looks worse.
Yes.
Because you know, I know they've painted the building in my opinion, a god awful looking color. It's a horrible looking color. But since the city paid, okay, so we gave a tax abatement to that facility for 6 years. And then 6 months after the tax abatement, we gave them $400,000. And the $400,000 that we gave them specifically was going to the green space and to the parking lot area. And so if that's what $400,000 gets us, we're in a world of hurt. But I don't know what's going on with that, and I agree with you 100%. So that's interesting that other citizens are. I hope other people are picking up on that.
But they definitely are. You know, and I was at a forum where Ridenour was asked about it. That's when he said, you know, HVAC issues. But you know, if that was in his neighborhood, I don't think he'd drive by that every day and not think about it.
Yeah, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. So, you know, I kind of am always torn, because I hear people talk about District 1, and one of the things that you hear people talk about is the fact that there are areas of it that's a quote unquote food desert. And I don't know how much I agree or buy into that. I mean, I guess depending on price, what you're looking at, what people are talking about, because you do have in a pretty close vicinity, obviously several Dollar Generals, which, you know, I'm not using Dollar General to say that's a grocery store, obviously, but there are items there. But then there's Aldi and Walmart there. I mean, and that's one of the things that frustrates me is Ridenour, when he first talked about that Southway Plaza deal, he said that it was going to be bringing a company that was going to be coming here that was going to be bringing 50 to 75 jobs, that they would be more than likely bringing an outside eatery restaurant to the parking lot, and quite possibly a grocery store. And what I've noticed is that's something that he says when he wants to get backing from people. He says, oh, we're also going to possibly bring a grocery store, but he always throws in that possibly. So then when it doesn't happen, he's like, well, it just didn't happen. Are you hearing, I mean, are your residents that you're talking to, do they feel like they are adequately being served with places where they can get food and things like that? Or are you hearing people talking about that being an issue?
But some people are mentioning it being an issue. Like if you live near Burlington and you don't have transportation, Aldi's and Walmart is a long way away. And so they are relying on the village pantry and the dollar stores and that sort of thing to get their food. I mean, that's the only option they have. In the midst, they don't run as often as what they used to when I was a kid. They you know, shut down their routes, and they don't run as long through the day. So they do have to rely on those stores in some places. But for the grocery store where Southway is, we don't need one there. That's right next to Aldi, and that's right next to Walmart.
Right.
That's not helping or serving anyone. You know, if you're going to put one on the side of town, put it where it is actually needed, and maybe near Burlington Memorial area. That would be a better place to do something like that.
Yes. The other thing that I think is interesting to your district is, and I need to pull up a map, are the old Oasis and the apartments that are in the old Marsh. Is that in your district?
That is. Well, the Oasis is. The apartments are not. I believe they're in 6.
6.
Because
Okay.
I butt right up against 6. So I have just a little bit behind the Oasis, but most of mine is on the south side of Memorial.
Okay. So, okay, that's what I didn't. I didn't know how far over 12th Street that it went into that. You're right. So I guess the reason I ask that is there just seems to be a whole lot of apartment buildings going up all over the city of Muncie. And now that we hear there's this promise that there's going to be a whole nother 200 some housing developments for rent that's going up, I guess, where the sports complex is. And I don't understand where the people are coming from, or where the city thinks these people are at that are going to fill these new apartments that they're literally putting up everywhere. Is that something are you hearing that there's people in your district that's just busting at the seams that need housing, or what's, have you heard anything about that?
No, because frankly, it's not there. I mean, there's a lot of blighted houses. There's a lot of vacancies. Those are what we should be taking care of. And this administration keeps promising, like these low income housing. Well, we have them. I think we have enough. And furthermore, what kind of business is that going to bring in? If you bring in like very large businesses that pay a lot of money, well, then you make too much money to live in those low income houses. So I don't think people are busting through the doors to drive here and work in a low income job so that they can live in a low income house.
Right.
They'd rather own a home.
Yeah.
And we need to fix up the blighted houses and the vacant houses and
Sure.
focus on those.
Yeah.
I think we have enough of the low income housing, frankly.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, that's very strange, because it just seems interesting. And these homes that are being built sporadically in the very different neighborhoods that they're putting up, these city view homes or whatever they're called, that they're wanting people to live there for like 15 years before then you can start it's like the rent to own process, but you've got to rent it for 15 years. Then you can talk about owning it. And it's like, I don't know anybody that would do that.
You'd be a senior citizen before you could own the home. I mean, if you did a 30-year mortgage at
Right.
20 years old, that's 65 years old before you own the home.
Right.
No, yeah, I don't see people lining up for that. And the placement where he's putting them, for instance, I work at Alva still, like I said, on South Walnut. They're putting one up right across the street, and it's right beside a house that is blighted. So, like, I don't know that you're going to rush to stay in that one, because your property values are diminished just by that they didn't do anything with the home directly next to it.
Right. That's very true. I drive by that property, if not a couple times a day, sometimes at least daily or every other day. I've done down that area quite frequently, and that's one of the ones that I've seen from the majority of the time, and it's just amazing to me what it looks like. And there's been a lot of commentary from citizens all over the city talking about these homes. It's very peculiar. It's going to be interesting to see how these things kind of come to a wash.
And the color scheme of them, it must have been planned by the person that painted Southway Plaza. Because I don't get that.
Yes, yeah. That's somebody saw. I think somebody the other day said, whose 3-year-old drew the plan up for these?
Yeah.
It's just very hodgepodge looking design structure and color outline. It is very strange. As far as the drug situation, I know that back in the early part of the year, December or January, going into January of this year, Ridenour promised the new crisis center, which I think is less of a crisis center and more now of a center that is in crisis. It's the old Workman's Bar building, which now, they've not done anything to. It was supposed to open this month. I pretty accurately said that I thought that was a campaign stunt, and that once we got past the newspaper articles and the pictures, that nothing would happen to it, and nothing has happened to it. Now we find out that it is termite infested. So it seems like that's not going to be help as far as mental health or drug abuse, or alcohol use issues. What are you or hearing, or what are you thinking that as a counselor that you would like to do, or that you think that the city needs to do, focusing on mental health and drug use and abuse?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, we have to do something about it. And in theory, the crisis center, maybe that was a good idea. But if you don't follow through, it's nothing. And that's what the city needs to do. There's no follow through. It needs to be more transparent. I do hear that from folks that they don't think that right now it's transparent. But you have to follow through. You have to deliver what you promised. And that's not being done. And as a council member, that's something that I would do. I'm not going to make promises. I'm not going to tell people that we're going to do something that we can't do, or that we don't intend to do all the way and fully.
That's really important. And the thing is, there's a lot of people that I've heard talk that are saying things. There are some candidates that are currently running for the at-large position on the Republican side that are saying things that are just wildly not within the council's purview. And it's just really amazing to me when people say that, and then you have maybe not paying attention or don't know, and they think, wow, that's a really good idea. And it's like, wait, that guy is saying stuff that the council has no say in. So I hate when people do that. But you guys do have a lot of power, because you have the power of the purse strings. You have the ability to fund. And one of the perfect examples of this I give is early on in the first year, Ridenour said that he needed a deputy mayor position.
Yeah.
And he was being asked by literally everybody involved that they needed him or wanted him to appoint an economic development director, but he wanted to do both the mayor's role and the economic development director, which I think is a horrible idea. But he begged for the council to fund this deputy mayor position, and they did, with the recommendation that this be someone who was economically inclined and knew economic development. And now we find out 14 days after that was funded, he picked Richard Ivey, who is not someone that understands that, and that he said, I'm going to do that, and Ivey's going to do the day-to-day. My question to all of the council members at that moment was, okay, the mayor has literally just lied to the public and lied to the council. You guys can do something about that. Next year, when it comes budget time, you can unfund the deputy mayor position. I'm not making you promise that you would necessarily do something like that, because you would need to look at all the facts. I'm just asking you as a council person, would you be opposed to taking steps, whether it's Ridenour or Robinson, if whoever the mayor is, if they're promising things to the citizens and promising things to the council that then turn out to not be true or not to be truthful, and they are hurting the citizens and hurting the city, would you be opposed to using your power of the purse strings to defund, or, I want to know, I don't want to say like punitively punish, but I guess in a way that is what it is. If the mayor's not living up to what either one of them say they will do, and you guys have the ability to kind of spank him back into place, is that something that you feel the council should do if it fits?
As a fiscal body, I mean, we have the power to do that. Absolutely. And I'm not opposed to any option.
Sure.
I think everything should be on the board. Everything should be studied, discussed. You should look at all avenues. And if that's something that needed to be done, then I would absolutely be open to that.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And right now, I don't know what Richard Ivey does. I mean, I don't think he's doing the job that the money was requested for him to do. I don't believe that that's happening. So I think you're right. It was, an outright lie.
Sure.
He said, I need a deputy mayor for this position and to perform these tasks, and they're not happening.
Right. Yeah, that is big. Another thing that's currently going on that a lot of people are talking about right now is this, the BOT, the Build, Operate, Transfer Agreement. And so that's kind of got us in a pickle more than once. And now what I found, and I haven't got a word from this. I have a pretty good working relationship with a lot of the people on the council currently, and I need to ask them about this. But I found here recently, it was earlier this week while doing another show, that the build, operate, transfer agreement that was put forth by this council was not put forth in an ordinance. It was put forth in a resolution. Well, there are, I always talk about this, there are United States congressmen who, anytime they're asked to vote on resolutions, they will not vote because they say that is fluff stuff. We're here to do the business of the public. I'm not here to do anything that's not in the scope of doing the business of the public. Naming highways after people and giving days for stuff, that's all nice political pat on the back stuff, but we're here to do the real serious business. And I can get the city council naming a day after somebody or whatever. I get all of that.
Yeah.
But when you're passing an ordinance or something through that should be set aside in an ordinance, which gets 2 readings, and it's going to be quote unquote law in the city, like a build, operate, transfer situation, they pass this in a resolution. And then in one of the lines of the resolution, it says, this cannot ever be repealed. It cannot ever be taken away. Once it's passed, it's there for good. I don't believe that's true. I would like somebody to ask the legal counsel, is that sounds nonsensical to me, because you can always make a new law that rescinds or whatever. Would you, if elected, be opposed to looking at, talking with the other counselors to talk about either restricting that, removing that, rescinding that, or pulling that back? Because I think what's happened is it's opened the city up to a lot of backroom deals. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be putting things out to bid and everything being open and on the table. Have you heard anything about what I'm talking about?
I haven't, but I'll tell you, absolutely, it should be removed. Like, we should never say that, this is this and you can never change it. That's nonsensical, like you said. Absolutely, never should that be happening.
Right.
You should always be able to go back and with a new resolution or what have you,
Sure.
Or change the law. No, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's very weird. A lot of people saw that on here. We were reading that, and literally reading it. I pulled it off the city's website, and I could not believe as we were reading it that it said that. That was a very, very strange situation. So I think that most people know. I mean, of course, the build, operate, transfer agreement got us in the whole hubbub with the solar field situation, yeah. And then this firehouse deal, where it seems like the council's kind of left in the dark about everything going on until the 11th hour, and then he's like, hey, let's do this. So I don't think it's worked out good for the citizens, for the city council, and it's left a lot of confusion. So that's good.
Yeah, and I have to take the council members that I've spoken to at their word. They say they were not given the email in February, like was said,
yeah.
That this was just boom here, and decide on this with no knowledge, and if you don't, then you're against firefighters. So the ones I spoke to say absolutely there was no communication. It just boom, this close to the election. Do this, give us the money, or you're against firefighters. I don't think any of them are against firefighters. I don't think any of them are against our first responders. Sure. I'm not. I've been endorsed by both organizations, both the FOP and firefighters. But that being said, I sitting there would make no decision if it's just here's this today, read this and decide now. That's not the way business should be. We shouldn't be making decisions, a $9 million decision for the city based on 15 minutes of reading.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. That's definitely got us in a lot of trouble. Yes, Jackie, I am referring to so there the resolution for the firehouse thing is as it stands. What I was referring to with Mr. Craig a moment ago when I said that the resolution said it could never be repealed was resolution. It's resolution 1222, and it was passed. It's the resolution that was passed in July of 2020. Whatever that resolution is, it was passed in July of 2020. Jackie, I will look for that and let you know exactly what that is. It's the one that was passed. Let me look here just to double check to make sure. Okay. Any section, paragraph, provision, no conflict. Okay, so no, it's not that one. It was the initial. It was 1220. It was 1220. It's resolution, Common Council, Muncie, Indiana, adopting Indiana Code 5-23 and taking certain other actions related thereto. Section 4 says no conflict. All ordinances, resolutions, and orders or parts thereof in conflict with the provisions of this resolution are to the extent of such conflict hereby repealed. So what it's saying here is anything that might go against this up to this point are hereby now deemed repealed. After the issuance and execution of this agreement, and so long as the agreement remains in place, except as expressly provided herein, this resolution shall not be repealed or amended, nor shall the city adopt any laws, ordinances, or resolutions in which any way effectively adversely affects this resolution. I've never heard such language in my life, especially in a resolution which only takes one vote. And so I'm hoping that an attorney for the council will look at this and determine what this is, because that's pretty crazy language that I just personally have never heard of before.
No, it sounds to me like, this is law. This is it. You can never change it. This is the way it's going to be forever.
Right.
And, right or wrong, it stands, and there's nothing, you can do about it.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Let me ask you this, and this is something that just recently popped up, and I know that there have been a couple people that have asked about it, but this is something that has been a pet peeve of mine. The council currently, and a lot of councils do this, it's not just the city of Muncie, a lot of places do this. They read the ordinance or the resolution by number and title only. So unless you're somebody like me or somebody like Jackie or other people that are heavily involved in this, and and even me, I missed something a while back and it caused a major hubbub. But there's so much going on, not everybody can just read every single thing everywhere all the time. So what that means is when the council gets up, and if they were going to, if you and I were on the council currently as it is, there's a lot of writing in this ordinance, folks. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of different writing here. It's a whole page and a half that I've condensed into one page. And what the council currently does is they read Resolution 12-20, Common Council of Muncie, Indiana, adopting Indiana Code 5-23 and taking certain other actions related thereto. Well, hell, that doesn't mention anything about what that is. That doesn't talk about what it is. You couldn't even begin to guess what it is unless you read the body of the resolution. What I am asking, and what I want to ask all of the council candidates that are running from this point forward, is will you make a promise to the people that if elected and you sit on the council, would you be opposed to having the entirety of the document read? You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I think more needs to be read. I mean, it's akin to a teacher giving you a book title and say, "Give me a book report." Now, like
Sure.
there's no way you would know. Most people have no idea what's being voted on, other than it's 12-22, and that's it. That's all you know. So we do need to be better at explaining what it is. I don't know that we need to go in full detail of reading, every single word. But it needs to be better than what it is for sure. I don't think
If
most
they could
people
give some
understand.
kind of a caption, I wouldn't be opposed to them giving some kind of a caption. I guess here, and I'll give you the example of, I'll give the perfect example of what burnt me. The tax abatement situation with the Southway Plaza.
Mhm.
The mayor stands up and talks about this tax abatement, and he mentions the name of a company, Brick Red Solutions. And everything is being said, Brick Red Solutions, Brick Red Solutions. Well, the tax abatement that evening, in the paperwork that the council read and voted on, Brick Red Solutions is not mentioned in the paperwork. The name that's mentioned in the paperwork is Top Star Realty. So when you hear Brick Red Solutions, and then you go back 6 months or a year later, you're trying to research and you can't find Brick Red Solutions anywhere, that's a hell of a thing. You don't know what's being talked about. You're like, well, I thought it was this, but this is talking about. So that's the situation. So all I would ask is, if we're not going to read the entirety of the ordinance or the resolution, they should at least read all pertinent sections so that nothing like that can happen. So that when we know what we're talking about, each piece is tied specifically to that resolution number or that ordinance number. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think there needs to be a better summary, and it needs to be more transparent. Like I use the example of like a book. I mean, you can get a summary of a book, or the clip notes or that sort of thing, and have a pretty good understanding without knowing, going through the entire book. So again, I don't know that you need to read every single one, but you got to be better. You got to be better.
Right.
And people have no idea when you say it's a resolution. This, Roe reads those off, and that's it. You have no idea what it is.
Sure.
Maybe the address that they're speaking about when they're trying to rezone things, but that's it.
Right.
It's very little, and most people have no idea.
Absolutely. So we've had you on here for a minute, and I want to give you all the time that you want. If there's anything that you want to say that we haven't talked, I'm going to give you a moment to do that. But briefly, I want to ask you this. Someone just commented here, and it's popped up a couple times, and this is something that I have heard from people. I've heard people on both sides of this say, so I want to ask your opinion and let you be the judge of who you are on this. People are saying that District 1 is interesting because it seems like, at least the perception of folks, is that both of the candidates seem to be polar opposites of each other. It seems as though the Republican is running what people assume to be a very conservative or very right-leaning race, while others deem you, wrongly or rightly, to be far left or progressive. So the question that I see that one person here has, and I have heard others ask, where does that leave moderates of the district race? How do you see yourself as a candidate? Do you see yourself as moderate, far left? Where do you fall in that spectrum?
I feel like I'm moderate. I can listen to both sides. I can work with both sides. But I want what's best for my district and for the city, and that's it. I don't owe anybody anything. I mean, I own my house, I own, my car. I've not made any promises to anyone. That includes Jeff Robinson, or anyone else. And they've not asked me to make any, and I'm not going to. I owe everything to my citizens. I'm going to go, and here's something like I haven't seen my opponent do, is our neighborhood association meeting is 6 days before city council. Yep. And I've never heard him go in there and say, these are the resolutions, these are the ordinances that we're going to have in 6 days. And what do you feel? What do you think? And that's what I plan to do. And that's who I'm going to listen to. I'm going to listen to the constituents first, not my party, not the other party, but the constituents. I think that's who should be helping make those decisions because it affects them.
Sure. Yeah, and 6 days, the council packets and stuff would be out by that time. So there's definitely not a reason why someone shouldn't do that. That's something that should be done in all neighborhood associations. The council member from all of those districts should be doing that. That's a really good idea. Well, Steve, is there anything that we haven't asked that you want to get out or you want the citizens to know about you?
No, I mean, I'm just proud to be from the South Side. I know a lot of people, I've heard people, and they live here now, and they were told, when they were growing up, don't cross the tracks. You don't want to go on the South Side. But we over here on the South Side, we're very tight. We love Muncie. We love our neighborhood, and we're proud to be from the wrong side of the tracks, if that's what you want to say. And so, but we are tired. We're tired of being forgotten, and we're going to stand up and say so. And we're not going to keep our mouths shut, and then that's what I plan to do.
Awesome. Very good. Well, if people are interested in finding more about you, you have a Facebook page, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's Steve Craig for City Council. I have craigforcouncil.org. I have a website. And my phone number and email are listed on both those places. So if they want to call me or they want to email me, that sort of thing, or text me, I'll be available and I'll answer their questions. Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. Well, sir, you are welcome back here anytime.
Thank you.
Win or lose, would love to talk with you. Hope that you stay involved. I win or lose.
Yeah, and if I lose, it won't be, for my lack of work.
Oh, no, that's one thing. That's one thing I do want to say. I have heard that there have been 2 candidates that have really put time in, and that's something that I've seen from myself and watching kind of from far, and that has been you in District 1 and Andrew Popp in District 5, and I got to say that I have heard from a lot of people that you're out putting the work in. So, if that's people are noticing that, and that's what I'm hearing, you must be doing a good job.
And that's the other thing too. Like when I'm knocking on doors, if I see a Republican yard sign, I don't skip that door. I go up and I knock on that door. And because, and one just asked me last week, oh, I thought you would walk right by. And I said, well, if I get elected, I have to represent you too. I have to represent everyone. So I want to listen and hear from everyone. So I'm not going to skip just because you're a different party. You're still a citizen of this city. You're still in my district. And, that's who I want to hear from. I want to hear from everyone because that's going to guide me on my decisions, on council.
Very good. And let me ask you this. This is a big thing that's been going on around here. If there are folks that have criticism, you're not someone that would plan to block criticism. You can take criticism, correct? Right?
Certainly, absolutely.
Very good.
We're pretty tough over here.
Yeah.
We're pretty tough on the South Side. Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very, very good. I definitely appreciate that. And you got a Republican candidate here that said "Amen" louder for those in the back. So it's good to see that both sides are saying that. Yoko says, "Thanks for doing this, Mr. Craig. It's nice to hear from someone from District 1," which I do agree. It's good to hear from people. It's very interesting. I guess it just goes to state, it shows who's in power. In 2019, it was the Republicans that were beating my door down for interviews, and the Democrats were hiding and would not interview. And here we are in 2023, and the Democrats are interviewing, and the Republicans are nowhere to be found. So, for the most part, that's definitely interesting. So
yeah, I'm definitely not hiding. If you're in the city, you can find me because I'm at the events. I'm knocking on your door. I'm very visible. And you can approach me anytime and ask me anything. Like say, the only difference between me now running and my life before is I'm posting pictures on Facebook. I was still always there. I was still, going to the events and taking my family, and loving my city.
Yeah.
So now I'm letting everybody else know how much I love it. But that's the only difference. That's the only change that has occurred for me. And that's the only thing that's going to change. I mean, I'm still the Steve Craig I was 4 years ago.
Awesome.
And the same Steve Craig I'm going to be 4 years from now.
Well, very good. I appreciate that, sir. And we appreciate your time, and you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
You do the same. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Steve Craig, Democrat candidate for District 1. I've got another surprise, for you guys here in a minute. But before we get to that surprise guest, I do want to answer Jackie's question here. And I think Kate probably put it up, but just for those that can't see on YouTube, Jackie says, aren't the proposed resolutions/ordinances posted in their entirety on the City Council's page, along with the upcoming agendas? And they are. They absolutely are. And as most people know, I do my very level best to go through all of those prior to council night. Even if I do it just the night before, I do try to go through those so people know. Sometimes I run out of time. Sometimes we're too busy and we don't get to it, but I do my very best. And that is always there. However, we do have to be cognizant of the fact that there are people that, I know it's crazy, and I know that there's not many. I mean, I don't know how many people there are in the world, 7 billion people in the world. I think there are like 3 people that don't watch this show. But besides those folks, I know that there are some that don't have either access to internet or don't have access, they don't have adequate access to internet. So they might not be able to access those pages. And so while, yeah, I agree with Jackie, I agree with you, and I do think people should take the time to read through those. It would still be good for the city council to make some kind of an attempt to say more than the number and the name. Again, keep in mind, I mean, some ordinances or resolutions speak very loudly to what they are. An ordinance to raise the minimum salary of every officer, chief, officer, deputy of the Muncie City Police Department. Well, hell, you know what that ordinance is. That ordinance isn't talking about goldfish food down in the clerk's office. Obviously, it's talking about raising the minimum salary of every officer in the Muncie City Police Department. When you're talking about an ordinance to allow the building or not allow signs on McGalliard that go higher than 70 feet. Obviously, that's an ordinance that's not allowing signs on McGalliard to go higher than 70 feet. That's not talking about speed limit on the south side of town. When you have an ordinance that says, ordinance number 12-20, the Common Council of the City of Muncie adopting Indiana Code 523 and taking certain other actions related thereto, that's the title. You don't know that has anything to do with bot agreement, build, operate, transfer, RFPQ, which is the request for proposals and qualifications. You got no idea. That could be to, an interview to stop you from, itching your ass, to a resolution, telling, men they have to wear a shirt on Sundays. You've got no idea what that is. So I'm just saying, there are some things that are very clear, and then there are some things that are as clear as mud. And so, I just think that we have to be a little bit more clear about what these things are. And also, to Annie's point, yes, the Democrats were told not to interview with me, much like the Republicans are being told not to interview with me this time around. So, it's funny. Maybe if we get a spattering of different candidates involved, either no one will be able to interview with me next go around, or maybe they'll all be able to interview with me. Who knows? We'll see. Jackie says, I concur with the need for additional reading, summarization, resolution, ordinance. I know, and I know. I'm glad you were pointing that out, because that does need to be said, and so I figured you did. It was good of you to say that. All right, so the interview is done, and now, without further ado, I think the only thing left to do is to launch into this man here. Oop.
Well, hey everybody!
Hey, did you know that last guy?
Steve Craig? No, I've not met him.
I didn't know if you guys, you're both
Southsiders?
Southside. I didn't know if you guys knew each other. I don't know what the age difference is or whatever.
I don't know. He seems familiar. I don't know that I know him, but no, I do like. I mean, again, I like what he has to say. I like the Southside does often get neglected in Muncie. That's a frustrating reality that it constantly gets crapped on. We do have that sweet Southside development there that they're never gonna. Well, apparently they're gonna do something with. I know we talked about that when there's like a marsh in there, wasn't there? And there's all that other stuff. And
dude, remember that big ass slide that was over there by Evie's?
Evie's, dude, you're taking me back now.
Remember that old slide? I mean, it was old and it was broke down by the time we would have been little, but it was always there. I always looked at it and I always wanted to go over there.
Pet Jungle is my favorite thing over
there. Pet Jungle!
Dude, I love it. I just go look at the fish and stuff. I'm like, hey, Mom, can I have these weird lizards and snakes? You're like, nope.
Yes!
Yeah, okay, well.
Dude, Pet Jungle, that was badass.
Oh, yeah, I love that place, man. That was cool.
Yeah.
The Kmart slide. That Kmart down there, man.
Yeah, that slide. It was, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. It was over, because Evie's were right there, was right there on the opposite side of Kmart. I remember the very first time we used to watch TV, and I don't know, it was an NBC channel, so it was like in the evenings, so it must have been coming from out of New York, and they would always show Pizza. They would show Little Caesars.
Yeah.
And Muncie didn't have a Little Caesars, and then
Kmart.
Muncie got Little Caesars in Kmart.
Yeah.
And my little kid head exploded. I could not wait to go get some pizza.
Dude, I loved it.
Oh my God, that was the best. I'll tell you, the only other, for the people in the world out here, I'm telling you, the only pizza on this planet that is better than Pizza, Little Caesars is, please, for the love of God, know what I'm talking about, Brandon. I'm going to say it, and you're going to either make me happy or going to break my heart. Flying Tomato. Oh,
that's familiar. I don't. Was that one up on? Is that on Tillotson?
No, it's not there anymore. No. Sadly, it's not there. Now listen.
No, I mean it was though, right?
It was on. It was in the village. It was where the locker room used to be. Not the locker room. It was, well, the locker room went there. Okay, so it's right there in the in place. The pita place was there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, pita pit.
Yeah. It was in the village, and that pizza, man, was the gut buster. Was the best thing. I read on Lost Muncie some time back. They said you could. They put a place of 20 places that you could go visit Lost Muncie in today, and I was like, "What? Tell me more. What do you mean?" And what they did is they have places around the U.S. where those restaurants, like there's a Taco Tico still in existence.
Taco Tico
in the United States.
That's in like Kansas, isn't it?
Maybe so. And I saw that, and they said that there is still a place that it is like Flying Tomato. It was originally Flying Tomato, that the name changed, but they still do the pizza the same way.
Really?
And I'm like, I am on a road trip. I don't know where it's at, but I screenshot that thing so long ago. And I was like, oh my God, I am going to go there one day. I cannot wait. I love Flying Tomato. My dad used to take me there on Friday nights. He'd pick me up from my mom's and we would go there. We went and got a Superman action figure one night. And it was Boulder. It was the action figure from the Superman toys, and the bad guy's name was Boulder. And a lot of those guys, you would like squeeze their legs and they would punch, or you'd squeeze their arms and they would kick. And we opened it up out of the package, and I squeezed its leg. I was like 6 years old, and I squeezed its leg one time, and its leg broke off. And I was like, oh my God. And my dad's like, something couldn't have been happening right. So we took it back in. And there was a girl working behind the counter. It was like in her 20s. And my dad was probably I was little, so my dad was probably in his late 20s. Mm-hmm. And he goes back in. We go back in, and he's like, hey, he opened this up, and the leg broke off. And I don't remember this, but I leaned up to my dad and said, we know what really happened, don't we, Dad?
We know the truth. Like, shut up, son. Stop narking me out.
Yeah, right.
Dude, Little Caesars sucks now, but that one in Kmart, I would always get the meal where you get the 2 little squares of pizza and the crazy bread.
Yes! Yes!
Oh, dude.
Yeah, man. That was, I'm telling you, that going there and eating in Kmart, that Little Caesars was amazing.
Yeah, dude, it was fire. Do you remember when they had the BW3 on campus before it was just
yes.
Before it was Buffalo Wild Wings, before they got rid of WEC?
Yeah, I loved the WEC. The WEC was the best. Yeah. I do absolutely remember that, and that's absolutely amazing.
Oh, I love this becomes a food podcast every time I show up.
I was gonna say, what in the Boss Hogs of Liberty is going on here?
Kate's wanting us to look at something. I can't see anything in the private chat if she's private chatting.
Okay, hold on here. So Jeremy Gotzi says, hey, Chris, I found out that Sproles Jr. is part-time civil process server, and the civil process servers have take-home cars. Yeah, I heard they had take-home cars. I couldn't freaking believe that. And I was with Bobby Plummer. I'm like, if your merit deputies don't have cars, maybe park the process servers. What?
Well,
wait a minute. Hold on. We're seeing something crazy going on here. Facebook post is up.
You're right, Joe Tompkins. Old Little Caesars was way better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold on here. Let me see what he's talking about here. Where's it up? What are you talking about? It's up. Tell me what you're talking about. It's up.
In Troy Chester, who did you get unblocked by? Did you actually get unblocked, or were you trying to? 2 questions at once. Let's just start throwing questions at people.
Yeah, right. Really quickly, I always love what did Audie say? I really love the Pizza King in the laundromat at Tillotson. Oh, yes.
Tillotson and Bethel.
Yes. Oh, no way. Hold on. This is big news. If this is really true, stand by.
Standing by.
No way. Dude, are you for real?
Chris's mind is blown. Is someone messaging you? Oh, God, Kate just left. It was too much news for her.
Yes, she did. Okay, we're going to look at this. I got to say to you, I'm very proud. So I know that you've got things that you want to talk about, but I know that this is going you.
Oh, okay, I'm fine.
I think that you do. I don't really know, but this is gonna burn. Hey, Brandon, you know what burns my ass?
Quit bitching and tell us.
Fire.
A flame about this high.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on here. Let me pop this up. Hey, Kate, if I send you a picture, can you post it up?
Yes.
She's very capable. Oh boy, we're so excited.
Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Don't put that one up. Don't put that one.
Uh-oh, it's that picture of Chris in the bikini again. Oh, shit.
What
Sending
was that?
dick pics, dude.
I dropped
Yeah.
my cell phone. I hope you can hear it. Spicy food.
Yeah, this is the one I want you to post. The one that's coming up next.
In the Smokies, man.
It's coming
I saw the solar eclipse for like half a second in Portland today. And
Yeah, dude.
Was,
did it? Was it? Did it come out? Was it bright?
I mean...
Put the bottom one up I just sent you there, Kate.
I mean, no, it wasn't bright because there's a moon in front of the sun, but...
I am so pissy. I mean, were you able to see it?
Like very briefly, like when it peeked out from behind the clouds, it was cloudy as crap.
So
Like,
pissy. I'm
during
telling you,
the
next
time.
year, dude, I'm gonna be so mad if next year is cloudy. I'm gonna know days in advance because I'm gonna have to drive someplace that won't be cloudy because I need to see it.
Yeah, we've already got our glasses ready. I bought them so we have them. Now we just need to make sure the dog doesn't eat them before April.
Okay, yeah, put it in a safe. All right, here we go.
Piss me off.
Yeah, it is. It's going to, and it's going to piss everyone else out there. Hold on here a second. I need to get everybody ready.
Hold up. Oh wait, I can see it. Let me go see what it is.
Yeah, you go look what it is real quick.
Oh.
And I need to text one person and tell one person to get ready to watch this right now.
Oh, this is oh. Wait, I've seen this. Oh.
No, you haven't seen this. No. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And this actually, huh?
Audie, he wishes.
This accidentally surprises me. I didn't know that it was going to be up. So this is gross. I know.
Gross.
I had to send it. I had to get people ready. Here we go.
You sent text messages, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
To send. Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
Yeah. You did. I had to send some text messages to other people telling them to get ready to watch because I didn't know that this was happening. So yesterday morning, I get a text message that has this picture in it. And this is disgusting. And I'm going to read this to you. This is a text message between a candidate.
It's Saturday and shit, for Christ's sake.
It's a candidate running for office and between the chief election officer of the county in which they're running. All right? That's what you need to know. This is a candidate running for office and Rick Spangler, the chief election officer. I know I'm going to drag real slowly. Bedtime should be like in what? You mean bedtime in 3.5 hours? Okay. The clerk says, I am giving you these as a favor, but I have implemented a policy that all requests are to be made in writing. How did you lose your own paperwork? The candidate says, I didn't. I want to compare mine to yours just to make sure. That's a fair statement. Also, I said I was happy to fill out a request. Your office couldn't find the form. I'm still here if you'd like me to fill one out. The clerk says, nope, just keep pissing them off. It helps your vote totals. The candidate says, I'm not trying to upset anyone. I just request a form, which is one of the basic functions of your office. If your staff find it upsetting to do the basic function, basic function of their job, perhaps that is the issue. I told the chief deputy clerk and the deputy clerk who was helping, and I just got the finish part of the conversation. I literally just got this. That said, I told the chief deputy clerk and the deputy clerk who was helping me that I was happy to fill out any form they could provide me or show me where it was online. However, they could not do either. Nevertheless, thank you for the paperwork. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I'm now going to show you the candidate's post that the candidate posted. This is not a secret. This person came out with it, which I didn't know was going to happen.
I don't know why he's worried about his paperwork. It's probably somewhere with Belinda Munson's, and it's not a concern if it's missing.
Yeah, well, right. Isn't that right? So, Andrew Popp from Muncie City Council, District 5 said, "This is taking the situation too far."
Are you wanting to share this?
Huh?
Are you wanting to share this?
Oh, yeah. Can you put it up on the screen?
Yeah, I can put it up on the screen.
Sorry, I was in the other chat. So this says, "This is taking the situation too far. This text message from the county clerk in response to a request for documentation from his office is bothersome. A text like this is bothersome coming from the officer that oversees our election. It seems as though this, combined with the statement of Dan Ridenour at the local Lincoln Day that I want 7, 8, or 9 Republicans on the council, ... or 8 counselors, seems people are worried that I am in this race. I will keep grinding it to do the work to represent the voters of District 5. I certainly appreciate all the motivation. Here to work." Okay. Put out of your mind right now, everybody out there, put out of your mind the fact that it's Andrew Popp and it's a Republican and a Democrat, or Andrew Popp versus Jerry Dishman. I don't care who this is. This is a candidate that is asking the clerk's office for records. The clerk is the clerk of courts, the keeper of the records. And they are asking the clerk's office for records. And the clerk says, keep it up. This just keep pissing them off. It just helps your vote totals. Now, number one, I would hear that and think, does he mean that if I keep pissing these people off, they just won't vote for me? Or does he mean keep pissing them off and they will screw with the vote totals?
Well, we already know that probably none of those people associated with the party in there are going to vote for him anyway.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Because Rick's a Republican and they're doing more to hurt him than the Democrats are. I would never in a million years, if I was the clerk of elections, if I was the chief election administrator, I would never, ever in a million years say those words to anybody ever, let alone a candidate. That is utterly disgusting, and Rick Spangler should resign. I don't feel confident that he can run he clearly is not thinking in the right headspace.
That is a little weird. It reminds me when I went to McDonald's last week and I asked if there's ketchup, if I could get some ketchup. And they're like, there's already some in the bag. Just keep pissing us off and see what happens to your food.
Yeah, right. Right. No, sorry, Brandon. That's not the food you ordered. Here, hold on. This is your food.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely disgusting.
Well, the weird thing is we can. I don't know if there's more of that conversation, but I'm not seeing attitude from Andrew Popp in it. But I'm seeing attitude on the other side.
No,
it's like, hey, Can I get that? Well, I'll give it to you this once, but
back up here. Okay, so there is a little bit of context, but it's not much. So here's the situation. People are making this harder than it needs to be. So here's the thing. Here's the deal. Listen, the filing period to file for campaign finance ended Friday the 13th. Dun dun dun. The deadline for campaign finance reports is next Friday at noon. So candidates right now are in the period where they are filling out their records and turning in their last campaign finance reports for this election season. Okay. Andrew Popp, who happened to be up at the clerk's office, okay. Andrew Popp was up at the clerk's office, was there, and he said, I want my last records of the records from May. And I know a lot of people who will compare those things. Now, I will tell you this. I know, take a drink. I will tell you this. I, for one, after seeing what Rick's office is capable of, or moreover, not capable of, I would never trust them to just do the right thing. I would always want to decide, hey, are they doing the right thing? I'd want to compare and contrast. So I think it's perfectly fine for a candidate to walk in there and say, I would like to get a copy of my most recent filings. Take those home and do this.
Well, yeah. Well, we just saw where the clerk's office didn't stamp paperwork, and so they were trying to throw people off the ballot because the clerk's office didn't do their job.
They didn't. Absolutely.
Well, why wouldn't you double check your stuff after that?
So
it's not unreasonable.
So what happens next is Andrew gets a copy of his thing, and he says in his mind, when he's looking at this paper to him doesn't look quite like what he remembered his home looking like. He said it looked like there was maybe a different mark on it, like on the numbering, and it's very good possibility. Sometimes people will make a scratch one of these. Once they get it all done, they will then make a new one that's all clean, And he thought maybe he had just filed the wrong one last time. So he said he wanted a copy of it to take home and compare with his last year records. Personally, I think that's too much explaining. It doesn't matter. He could want a copy of it to take out in the parking lot and wipe his ass with, for all I care. If he wants to go in there and say, hey, I want a campaign finance record from 20 years ago, it might be a little doing, and they're going to have to dig for it, but you have a right to go in there and ask for records.
Yeah, pay your fee and get your record.
So he went in there and he wanted to get these records. And he told them that, hey, can you just email it to me? And they said, well, we don't do that. And he was like, well, you're supposed to. The law says that you can. And there was a big hubbub over that. So finally they said, well, we have a new system. You need to fill out a form. And Rick said, okay, or Andrew said, okay, well, give me the form. Well, then they didn't. Yeah, we'll just pull you on, Andrew. Then they didn't have the form. And so that was what all of this hubbub was. Let me get the thing. So then this text message went on between Andrew and Rick. And I'm just saying, I've got a problem with anybody asking Rick for paperwork and Rick telling anybody in the public that his office people are pissed. Well, if they're pissed, tell them to find a different job. It's not that hard.
Andrew, check your PMs in Facebook.
What? Are you talking to me? Or Pop?
Pop. Dorchester's image on YouTube.
Hello.
It's popping off Saturdays. How we doing, guys?
Apparently.
Popping off with Andrew.
What's happening?
Well, so I saw Annie, and I forget the last name following that in the comments.
I'm anonymous.
Yeah. So Annie, sit tight. This is a dated incident. This isn't a quick explanation. Chris, you're aware of all of this. You'll probably have to recant part of it because we haven't thought about it since, I believe, late March, early April. But we'll get there. So, Annie, yes, there is a backstory. Yes, there is a history between me and somebody in the clerk's office dating back to March or April, whenever Troy Ingram went to court for his hearing. That person isn't Rick. I have always had what I feel like is a decent communication relationship with Rick, which is why when this started, I just texted Rick because I felt like
I can say that. And for the record, Andrew and I have had ups and downs, but I can say that I know Andrew and Rick have had a decent personal relationship.
Yeah.
I've always had a decent personal relationship with Rick.
I don't think Rick is the root of this issue. And again, the reason that I texted Rick initially was I felt comfortable texting Rick, particularly because the request that I made is something that Rick has sent me before. Now, in the text, you see he said his office implemented a new policy. I was am unaware of that. They said there was a request that needed to be filed. They told me I could find it online. So there at the clerk's window, I searched the Delaware County database for forms of the clerk. There's 75 of them to be exact. Takes up 2 pages on my cell phone. There is no form requesting election documents. There's a form requesting clerk records, which is the closest thing you could get, court records, which is the closest thing you can get, but that is not the form that was in question. I also want to say, for clarity's sake, that the individual that I started this process with, the deputy clerk, not the chief deputy clerk or the clerk, but the person I started this with was extremely polite, cordial, professional, efficient. She was completely adequate in her job. She did a very fantastic job. The second deputy clerk who came up to help me was very cordial, polite, on and on and on. The chief deputy clerk, in my opinion, is who escalated this. Now, the backstory. I testified at Troy Ingram's court hearing to get him put back on the ballot. I was also there when Troy Ingram turned in his paperwork to the chief deputy clerk of the court, Jane Jessup, I believe is her name. Mm-hmm. I made a statement in that court hearing that they can put on my headstone. It is factual. It is accurate. All the money in the world, a lie detector test will not change that statement. It is accurate. Troy Ingram asked, does everything look good? She said yes. Now, she later said in the court hearing Chris, correct me, I forget if it was her or Rick that said in the court hearing that she doesn't know how to check the paperwork.
It was Rick.
Okay. She doesn't know how to check it. She's not trained in it. The IC code at the bottom of those forms make that very confusing because Rick is allowed to discharge his paperwork to the chief deputy, which in my mind would lead me to believe she should be trained in doing those jobs. I could be wrong. But if somebody's allowed to perform the jobs of the clerk when the clerk's not present, you would think they would know the jobs and have the ability of the clerk. And I can certainly tell you that the previous chief deputy clerk of Rick Spangler, Isaac Miller, was as proficient, perhaps more proficient than Rick Spangler in those duties. And obviously he's moved along in the political spectrum because of that. So at one point in time, the chief deputy clerk could do those duties and responsibilities as prescribed. So
I will second all of that you've said so far. All of that is accurate. You did testify to that. Rick did say that the old chief deputy was proficient, and all of that is accurate.
So Annie, the day of, I go in there, I ask for my paperwork. I get there right after they open because I wanted to be in and out. I wasn't expecting any resistance. I was also expecting Rick to be there, which was an error on my part because I should have known he was going to be up in early voting. I asked for the document to see the documentation just to confirm that it matched. I have 2 copies of my initial finance report here. I wanted to make sure that the one that was filed in the clerk's office was in fact the one I had in my folder that should my records ever be calling the question, I can supply. And I wanted to ensure that the right copy was in there. Unfortunately for me, I turned in my scratch copy that has the D in Delaware. I didn't like the way I wrote it, so I scratched it out and wrote Delaware next to it. Unfortunately, that's the copy that was turned in. That's an error on my part, and I apologize. That's not how I want my paperwork to look. Now, it's not something that can get me thrown off the ballot or in trouble or anything like that, but it's not how I want my paperwork to look. So I then asked for an electronic copy. Now, the initial clerk that I was dealing with, again, very polite, cordial, professional, I don't know if she didn't hear me right. I don't know what had happened. However, she asked if I was paying with card. And I said, no, I'm asking for an electronic copy. I can provide you with my email. And in the same law that says what the clerk can charge for his paperwork states that I can request at no charge an electronic copy. The cost of the document is based on needs of office supplies. There's no fee to request your paperwork. It's just to make sure nobody's out any money. Yeah. So I asked for an electronic copy. She went into Jane Jessup's office, chief deputy clerk, and I obviously can't hear the conversation. I assume she asked, do we do this? How do we do this? Miss Jessup came from the office and stated that we don't do electronic copies. I recited the exact same information that I just did, that the very same law that prescribes the cost of the fee also states I can request an electronic copy at no cost. She then went back to her office, came back out 30 seconds later. And keep in mind, nobody's raising their voice. Everything is cordial. I can tell that she seems frustrated, but again, we have a history. She knows that I don't agree with what she did, and she thinks I'm wrong. Those 2 facts will probably never change, and that's okay. People don't have to agree on everything. I could tell she's a little frustrated, but I didn't think I was getting to the point that anybody's pissed off. When she went back into her office, I texted Rick, and I said, I'm being told you guys no longer do electronic copies. This is something I've requested before. To which he responded to the text you saw, hey, we're going to do this as a courtesy. However, we've implemented a process where you have to put in a request form. And the conversation from there goes. That came out. I requested the form again, couldn't find it in the county website. They couldn't provide it to me. A second deputy clerk came up and looked for it on the paperwork that they have right there at the window on the inside away from the citizen. Also couldn't find the form. So that's what happened. I left. I will then say that I again, being aware that I should have known in the first place, Rick was at the old county building, the downtown county building, doing their election. I went down there and I went to address Rick. I said, hey, I'm not accusing you of anything, but this looks bad. What is this? To which he said, don't accuse my office of anything. And he went back into early voting. I wasn't accusing anybody of anything. I want to know what that text meant, or I wanted to know. At this point, I think given everything that's happened in the last week, of veiled statements that may or may not allude to me, I think it's clear where we're at, and I put that in the statement. I think people are worried that I am in this race, that this is not going to be the blowout. And I also think that, that there's a little bit of concern at this point. I know there's chatter around town. I know you've mentioned it. There's no signs, don't vote, but there's no signs out. Knocking doors doesn't guarantee you win election, but I don't know what not knocking doors get you. So those are the type of things that I want to say there may be some concern. Here's the thing. If I had $20 to bet, I would say that I have the toughest race and that I probably, if I win, it'll be by very narrow margins. And I think everybody knew that going into this, being that Jerry's been on the council for 16 years. And the last 2 years, nobody's been willing to run against him. Or last 2 cycles, rather. Nobody's willing to run against him. But I'm in this race, which wasn't expected. It wasn't expected when I announced. It wasn't expected at the primary when I only came out with a deficit of 16 votes. That was shocking to everybody. And it wasn't expected today that I'm in this race. And we're working in different ways and means. We've got phone lists going right now where we're working on phone banking. Just information that we've pooled together. Hey, 10 people in the district, give them a call. We're doing phone banking. We're doing targeted knocking right now. Any house that doesn't have a yard sign is the voter I want to talk to. Even if I've talked to them before and they just said, hey, we don't do yard signs, I want to reconnect with that voter. So, those are the type of strategies we're employing right now. And, November 7th, the chips are going to fall. I will be at an election night event at Troy Ingram. At Troy Ingram's house. We're having brisket. We're having baked beans. That's where I'm going to be on election night, celebrating with my team a good race. Whether we win or lose, it's been a good race, and nobody can knock us for that.
Yeah.
That's.
Are we going live from Troy Ingram's place on election night?
So I cannot answer that question because Troy has been gracious enough to offer me his house. And Brandon, I don't know your relationship with Troy at all, but Chris, if you send a text message, you could probably go live from Casa del Ingram at so that is completely up to Troy. I requested his house. I let him know, this is the list of people that we're inviting. And this is not a campaign event. This is a personal event among friends. And
I was being smart on it, but I want some of that brisket.
Hey, I actually bought 2 because there's quite a crowd that's already RSVP'd.
Nice.
So it's a bring your own soda pop beverage event.
Bring you a generic cola, Christopher.
Exactly. We're gonna celebrate what's been a team effort and a lot of hard work. I have certainly been the face of my campaign. I have certainly been the one out front doing the knocking, doing the work, because I believe that that's the way that it should be done. But here's the thing: my wife works late. There are times I need a babysitter because I can't take my son out when it's raining and I'm out knocking. There's been people who have personally helped me. I've got people driving around with magnets around town. There are people that are helping me. There are people that are making calls on those phone banks that I was talking about. So while I have certainly been the face and been the one out front, this has been a team effort to get us here. And I think any candidate knows it takes a team. So that I went way off the. You
are such an asshole.
Yeah, I
knew you were turning this into a campaign event.
I didn't mean to. I really didn't. I started talking, and I was answering Andy's questions so well, and I just went right off the rails. And I am very sorry.
I don't care.
Chris, for what it's worth, if you want to know what my last 2 days has been, for the first time since my son's been born, my wife is out of town at a bachelorette party, and I have been managing the 2-year-old duties all by my lonesome.
Shit.
So yeah, it's been a good 2 days for me. My wife's gonna be back tomorrow afternoon. Thank God. Between the dog and the house and trying to campaign and a will-be 3-year-old, it's a lot. It's a lot. So Annie, do you have any follow-up question at all? I'm happy to answer. I don't even know if you're still
Ironically,
on.
I think she left like 3 hours ago.
Well, you haven't been on 3 hours, so that's a fraudulent statement. Hey, Rudd, love the hat. Also love the ass whooping that your team took today.
It's pretty brutal.
The Ohio State came in and stomped out, and I hope they do the same thing to Penn State next week. Also, funny side note, Chris, I am going to campaign plug here. If anybody watches the Fox Big Noon Kickoff show that happens before the Big Noon Kickoff game, be on the lookout for a high-vis green shirt in the front row.
Oh, shit.
Coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio, from Ohio Stadium, home of the Ohio State University. There may also be a sign there. Who knows? But there might be some plugging going on.
My God.
Thank you, Fox Sports, for the opportunity that you didn't even know you gave me.
Well, that's hilarious. The fact that, I mean, because you do have one of the most visible shirts out there. So, you know.
Well, again, there may or may not be a 4-foot sign that gets thrown into the trash outside of Ohio Stadium before we go in. Allegedly, all this is top secret information that's now public. So,
that's hilarious.
But yeah, that's the plan for next Saturday, and then we'll rush home after the game so we can get back to knocking on Sunday. But yeah, that's where we're at. Annie's gone, so I don't have
Jackie. Yes.
Annie's gone, so I don't have anybody else that I'm talking to because that was the only one that seemed to have any questions. Brandon, you got anything for you go? You need any bandages for your rear end for the butt whooping you took today, or you all set there?
Let's not bring Andrew on anymore.
All right, that's fine. Christopher, one can only hope, just like one can only hope that I will, that a barbershop's in your near future before your election day show.
Yeah, sometimes I might not cut it until after the election.
He's popping off now.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Miss Jackie, thank you. And going once, going twice, live from my recliner. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, take it easy.
He's such an idiot. So here's the deal. The bottom line and the thing that I wanted to bitch about there, and I thought that he was coming on to bitch about, was
he thought he was coming on to bitch about.
Was what the hell's the clerk saying there? Like, look, we laughed and we joked and whatever. It was good and fun. He turned it into a campaign opportunity. Listen, you love or hate him, he knows how to work it. I mean, he'll do. There's no shame in that game. So I don't have a problem with that. I mean, whether I agree with him all the time or not, that's fine. He's out there working it, and that's what you got to do. So I give him credit, but I really think it's gross what the clerk's office has said to him here. I think that is a definite problem.
I was curious. Oh, okay. I was curious if there were. He didn't post it that long ago. I was curious what the comments were. I was waiting for Donatics to come on there and be like, "Oh, obviously he just meant that." I don't know what he mean.
It wasn't very long ago. And I'll say this. So he told me about this, and I asked him. Troy, that's why I can respect it, because I got that too. I got that ability in me too. I can turn that on or turn it off. Absolutely. So here's the thing. You can. Pop called and told me about this, and I got a picture of this. And I was like, man, did this happen? Did it not happen? Whatever. And Pop's like, I don't want the battle. I'm not going to fight the battle. I think he called and he checked in with some stuff at the state level. And I didn't know if he was going to talk about it or not. And I was like, man, this was really hurting me, because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to really, really, really talk about that. And I was pissed about it. And he was like, no, I'm not going to say it. So, true to my word, I didn't post anything about it. I didn't say anything about it. And there were a couple people that I talked to that they didn't say, hey, did you hear what Andrew said? So I knew they hadn't told them. And I'm like, damn, he's really not going to tell anybody. So I didn't know. Well, with Andrew posting that, I mean, first of all, it happened. I know Andrew wouldn't have posted that if Rick did not say that also. So that conversation happened. As to why it happened, I don't know. I mean, I could ask Rick about it. Rick tell me, get out of here and don't accuse him of anything. I don't, I'm the same way. I used to have a very good relationship with Rick, and then Rick spun on me in a dime the very first time I ever questioned him. And I've got no room in my life for that. You're an elected official. If you cannot take the smallest bit of criticism without going crazy, you've got no business there.
Yeah.
I don't know what he meant by that message to Pop. It's gross, and
Dude, at best, I don't know. My thing is, if it had been anyone except for the top election official, I wouldn't really care. I'd be like, oh, it's someone just kind of crap talking. It's a bad look at best, I guess. I mean, it's not something you should be saying as an election official talking about. As an election official, you shouldn't be talking about anyone's vote totals unless you're reporting the vote totals. You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it's at the very least an inappropriate thing to say. At worst, if you're going to make I'm not going to make any accusations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, or I don't have any proof that he meant anything by that. I'm just saying that's a very dangerous thing to be saying. Like,
yeah, he shouldn't have said it. To
give people that possibility that what are you saying there? I don't know what he said. It's just stupid why he would say that. That's stupid.
Yeah, the guy controlling the election is talking about how my vote totals might be affected by things I'm saying that's pissing off his department. Like, okay.
Yeah, right. And remove all of that. Remove any of it. Just say that was a citizen's not running. You mean your office is getting pissed off that someone's going in and asking for records?
The thing that concerns me is if Andrew loses, does that text give him cause to challenge the results?
I mean, one could argue that, sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
sure.
You could make that argument that was a threat.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least audit it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, depending on what the election loss would be like, it would definitely be call for a recount if anything.
Yeah. I don't like it. It's a gross thing to say. I mean, really, and I agree with your point. It's like you go in the doctor's office and you're like, hey, can I get a copy of that record? Now you're pissing us off. We'll see what happens to your health if you keep pissing us off.
Yeah, right.
What are you guys pissed about? That makes no sense.
What the hell?
Guess who's back?
I snuck in on you.
Jesus Christ. What's happening?
I want to address
that lock.
I want to address what Kate just said.
Yeah.
So the election is almost entirely automated.
He's like a vampire.
I know, right? The election is almost entirely automated.
Yeah.
The only thing that gets hand counted are absentees.
Sure.
Which, being a Republican in a city of Muncie, I'm probably going to lose absentee vote anyway.
Yeah.
As state mentioned, or as Chris mentioned, I did call down to the state and I asked several questions just to find out, what I could do, what I should know, just an information gathering process. The likelihood of me challenging anything is 1%. There is a process. I would have 14 days to file it in circuit court or superior court if I choose.
We don't have any superior courts here, so
I know, but that's what the law reads, so that's what I said. I have those options, but in all likelihood, if I win, it will be from early voting, because I am taking people to early voting, and that's not a surprise to anybody because I was caught helping somebody get in the door for early voting. It's not a surprise to anybody that there is a poll worker from my team who looks a lot like me at the county building, greeting people as they come in, hoping that they're there to vote. Don't know if they are or not. Probably harassing county workers.
Jesus.
You know, so I will, if I lose or if I win, it'll be from early voting and it'll be from same day voting.
How many times you voted this time already? Pop?
Well, so unfortunately, you know, the Republicans, I guess we haven't figured out the theory of vote early, vote often. We've started to figure out the vote early, but maybe not vote often, which is good because that's legal, and we want to keep a legal election. So, we don't vote from cemeteries. We don't do any of that. It's crazy. Thank
One
God.
day the Republicans will have it figured out.
Yeah, no. We've figured out how to be honest in elections as far as where our votes come from.
Okay.
So, but no. Could it raise a bunch of concern? Absolutely. You know, but we're not talking about the 2020 presidential election where absentee ballots are going to be coming in hand over
Just
foot.
a nicer person than me, because I would be the bitch that would go and file it just to fuck with people.
Well, I mean, I could. The cost is extremely minimal. It's based on percentage of loss and number of precincts that I have to do. It would cost me at a maximum of $500. And if you look at it, they'll go, he can't do math. It's $600. Well, that's not accurate. One of the precincts that I have in my district is precinct 92. 3 votes were casted out of precinct 92. Those 3 people live at the same household. They all straight ticket voted, and they weren't Republicans. So I probably won't audit that district if I choose to audit. So it would cost me a filing fee of $100 and then up to $100 per precinct that I choose to audit. So, and if anybody's seen my campaign finance report from the exploratory campaign or the one I filed in April, I've got $400. So
Jesus.
The one with the scratched out D on it?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
He scratched out the D on it.
Yeah, I did. That's funny. It wasn't in the line where I was asking for my party. Let's not get any assumptions here. Because we all know that's the running joke right now.
Well, yeah, right.
So yeah. No, Kate, I probably won't be challenging. I doubt he is a nice dude, but he could have typed that out. Jeremy Godsey, if you have to see how many times I've had to edit what I type out, no, I could not have typed all that out. But thank you for your comment. Who gets the money? It goes to the court.
It goes, yeah.
Yeah, the filing fee goes to the court, and I believe the audit money goes to cover whatever expense there is.
Yeah.
For the recount. So now I would think though that you know the county would hire an attorney to go to court and try to challenge this, even though I have every legal right to request it so long as I pay for it. The only challenge would be if I ask for it to not be for the fee to be waived. So which I'm not worried about. Yeah, so I'm going to go. I'm not going to jump back on. I'm actually going to go to bed because I got to get up at 5 a.m.
Rock and roll.
But, yep. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Later on.
Dude. So he's got a poll worker who looks exactly like him, or as we like to call him, his poppelganger.
That's hilarious.
I've been waiting on that one.
Okay. Moving on from that Andrew Popp deal. Real quick, a couple people have asked if there's any Sproles stuff. Unfortunately, no. Sproles. I'll be honest. We did the big Sproles stuff this week. Sproles. There is some Sproles information. I can let everybody know. It's not much, and I told the guys in the team. My attorney contacted me this today. Actually, I got an email from my attorney, and I can't really go into detail on everything that he said. I have a phone call with the attorney this week, and I will find out if I can release the filing that he gave me. I think I should be able to, but I want to just double check. I will be able to. I just want to make sure that it's currently been before the court before I do. But I will tell you that Sproles has an attorney now in our lawsuit. There had been a period where he was telling them he didn't like this attorney. I don't like this attorney. He kept fighting all of the attorneys. And, not summary judgment. So the situation is, we know how Sproles acted at the 2 meetings. Of course, I talked about that last night. Sproles wasn't at the first meeting, so he's flying low. Someone must have told him to fly low. He must be taking a little bit of someone's advice. It won't be long until he is screwing up again. I have no faith in him being able to be normal for long. However, folks, it's never a bad thing when Sproles is doing the right thing. That's the good. That's good. We don't want him to be doing bad things. We want him to be doing right. That said, he's done so much wrong. I get it that people just wants him to do enough that we can be like, look, let's get rid of him. I think that's still a capability, the capability in Sproles to do the wrong thing is high, and the possibility of the FBI removing him is still high. They are still investigating him. There are lawsuits that are still going on with Sproles. Mine is one of them. Sproles eventually did find an attorney that he liked, and he got this attorney. And that's one of the things I want to find out from my guy. Is this an attorney from the insurance company, or is this one that Sproles hired? I get the feeling that this is one that he hired. And then if that's the case, I think that this guy is just taking his money and making him a fool, because they literally filed for there to be a stay in this case until the Supreme Court hears 3 cases that is getting ready to come before it. Now, when I say getting ready to come before it, it could be sometime in the next 6 months. It could be sometime in the next month, or it could be sometime in the next year. I don't know how long. So he's just taken, if that's what's going on, if Sproles is paying for it, then I hope that guy sucks every dime out of Sproles that he can. Good for him. If this is an attorney for the insurance company, shame on them, because everyone else is saying, let's get this done. My attorney has said that he does not think that the court will stay it. He thinks that we will move forward. And we do have a hearing date scheduled where we will go down and talk about a settlement conference. And that's like, it's either the 1st or the 19th of April.
It's the 9th.
9th. It's the 9th. If it's the 1st or the 9th, it's 19th. It's the 9th. He knows.
Yeah.
So it's the 9th of April. And so that's where we are. There will be some more paperwork. I can show you about that as soon as I talk to my attorney, but I just need to double check and make sure everything's on the up and up before I show you what basically it's what Sproles' argument was and what my attorney's argument was against it. So I'll show you that. Other than that, I'm still waiting on some record requests from Sproles. So there's not a whole lot there. And that was that.
And that was your Sproles update.
That was your Sproles update. Now, did you have something too?
I know you got an advance copy of Letter to the Editor from Dan Ridenour. And also, I was fighting with the city of Muncie, and Troy Chester was actually involved a little bit regarding their terrible graphs. But if you want to read the letter, that might be the more interesting thing to do. Or you can save that, and we can, I don't know, talk about how stupid that graph is.
Well, I want to be able to do the letter with you while you're here.
Oh, okay.
But we can do it whenever you're here.
Oh, we can
So-
do it. You can do it now if you want to.
No, I'm good with that.
I think Kate. Kate, do you have it?
Is someone going to give me the
In my
advance copy?
email,
I think Kate has it.
Are you going to give that advance copy to me?
I will email it to you right
Or
now.
put it up. I mean, I get. Yeah, if you could email it to me, and I'll put it up on the screen
Okay.
that way.
Or yeah, okay. That's the easiest way. How do I forward? Oh my gosh. Forward to KH Bilbrey. We didn't want you seeing it too early because it was,
Well, yeah, it's that guy that Brandon works with. This guy that was able to get an advance copy.
yeah, so it was kind of hush hush and
Mhm.
oh, Jeremy, Christopher's off screen. So this lawsuit is First
I am?
Amendment suit. Are you off screen? I thought you
Oh.
were looking at your email.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
not
I'll
yet.
go away.
No,
Bye.
no, you answer. You answer. No.
You're taking a nap. God, where's Teresa when you need her?
I was off screen. Yeah. So I was off screen. I was staring right at it. Where is this?
Hey, Joey's answering for you. Yeah, Sproles was blocking, deleting. Oh no. It's the same thing that JD Prescott did, which is where these politicians will create a quote-unquote campaign or quote-unquote personal page, then use it as a government official, and then block people who are critical of them, which is a First Amendment violation because it doesn't matter what you call the frickin' page. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
Godsey, were you sleeping on that? You didn't know? Here's what he did. He used one of our videos. He took one of our videos, cropped it down, used it, took all of our visuals out of it that would denote it as being ours, and then he used it in a way that was contrary to what my purpose of the video was. And then when I went on there and I said, hey, I noticed that you have committed copyright theft. Can you do one of a couple things? Can you either attribute the video to us, take it down, or kiss my ass? I don't think I said that, but one of those.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, it was a good one. Yeah. And so basically what I did was I asked him that, and within an hour, he had deleted the comment and blocked me. So I sued him for that First Amendment rights violation. The ACLU picked the lawsuit up, and the ACLU, on my behalf, is suing Sproles in this situation. And what we're asking for in settlement, one of the things we're asking for is that he unblock me along with anyone else that he has blocked, and to not censor me or anyone else for
Forward, yeah.
for shit. So that's that.
Yeah. He also stole one of our videos and edited out the intro and everything and used it as his own, but that's not part of the lawsuit.
Yeah,
It pisses me off.
Yeah, so stupid. Copyright that. So it was so stupid.
Yeah. Theft of copyrighted works.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Jeremy. I get it. So
Yeah, Alva.
some of you may remember in setting up this letter to the editor from Dan Ridenour. Now, in all fairness, I'm going to let you know we are going to be interviewing Dark Dan from the city of Muncie sometime soon. I don't know exactly when, but we do have an interview lined up. I'm waiting for his people's people to get with my people's people, and we will let you know. I don't know exactly when it is, but it will be soon. So I'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, because regular
But
Dan's
one of
gonna
the things
kinda
we talked
respond,
about-
right?
We'll see. Maybe he'll be forced to after Dark Dan interviews. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope
good.
not. I mean, he hasn't up to this point, so I'm telling him to F off, but yeah. What? Yeah, I understand that, brother. It's definitely, yeah, I get it. I definitely get that. Yeah, we're gonna take it all the way, and we're gonna make him unblock everybody. So some of you may or may not remember this. We talked about this the other night. This was a letter to the editor that Dan wrote back in 2019, and I think he thought it did really well. I mean, in my opinion, it basically, like, it did not age well at all. I mean, it was just complete insanity that everything he wrote in here, it just did not happen. But he must have felt that it did so well that he decided to basically, he was like, hey, lightning struck once. Let's see if lightning can strike twice. So essentially, he sent another letter to the editor in. They've been doing that here recently. You know, if you pick up the Star Press paperwork, he's basically been doing they've been doing that. And so here is his.
Yeah, they haven't published this one yet.
No, this is an advanced copy. So you're getting ready to read this this is hot off the presses. Dan Ridenour, step 1, a commitment of truth or the somewhat appearance of truth, all while going around the council and making shady backdoor deals.
First of all, that should say step 2. That's stupid.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe they will catch that. I think he probably meant that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or maybe he'll catch it right now and be like, crap, why didn't he change that to 2? I don't know.
Yes. And so, of course, it uses the same picture because why not? He looks exactly like this still, obviously. No, he doesn't. One commitment I am making to some of you for when I resume office as mayor of Muncie on July 1st, 2024, is that you will know exactly what I want you to know about what your Muncie government is up to. Under my current administration, this has always been the case. Since I announced my candidacy as mayor on August 15th, 2018, my message has remained the same. First, above all else, I will create some form of government. Under my direction as mayor of Muncie, we will operate as a secretive, wasteful, shady city organization that strives for personal gain. I will dramatically reduce transparency, and this is how. I will appoint the official stamp licker to be Christopher H. Bilbrey's #1 troll. I think he's already done that. This will include daily posts where he picks fights about videos he doesn't fully watch and social media posts he doesn't read and then pretend to be the victim. This will be so obnoxious and hypocritical that it will be impossible not to drive that Bilbrey crazy. Let me tell you, it has got very close. Very close. If that doesn't work, the poking will commence. Oh, God. Number 2, the city communication plan will also require that my personal staff spend their entire day defending my poor decisions and bad deals on Facebook. These posts will include condescending statements to constituents, gaslighting those who ask valid questions, excessive pictures of roads, and include encouraging the harassment of people with no connection to my backdoor dealings. As a bonus, this harassment will likely be of people that are retired and just trying to enjoy their remaining days in peace. I will improve the appearance of honesty in Muncie government by creating public access to all city documents that I want you to see. I will ensure that my staff are rude and dismissive of requests for any documents that could potentially make my administration or myself look bad. Things we will try to withhold include backdoor real estate deals, shady communications, and the members of ECIBG, building inspections, and more. Access to these documents will occur for all citizens in the city council at the latest time possible. Anyone who wants to know what the city is doing will really have to struggle to find out. 4, a need for less transparency requires that I request that all city council committees consist of at least 5 of my campaign donors going forward. The combining of committees to more easily handle my personal business could be considered as well. Each committee should include my personal appointments, hold secret meetings at strange hours, and have no published minutes. I cannot require this action, but I would expect that the new council will do whatever I say. If not, the family will do all they can to have them removed from the ballot next election to be replaced with yes men like Dale Basham. If all else fails, I'll just continue to go around the council through the MRC so that I can waste taxpayer dollars on deals that fall through, termite-infested buildings, and overpaid construction. I believe this will be a necessary policy considering the last several years. I will establish a regularly scheduled quarterly meeting between the city, Muncie, ECIBG, Horizon Companies, GM Development, Accutech, and of course, Aaron Clark's cousin in order to foster...
Yeah, let's even put his name. It just says Aaron Clark's cousin.
to consider the dealings. We can achieve so much more together than we can apart. This meeting will begin that scamming process. The steps described above represent the first of 5 commitments I will make to each Muncie resident. Under my direction as mayor, secrecy will be the thing of the present and the future. Muncie will have a total wink, open and honest government. Wink, wink.
He typed out wink. Wink.
Oh, that is some good shit there. So that is Dan Ridenour's 2023 updated letter on commitment to secrecy, less communication, and no transparency within the government. That is fantastic. Oh my God.
Fun stuff.
I love it. That is.
You got a poking coming your way.
I got a real live chance of a good poking coming
Red
my
hot
way.
poking.
Yeah, that's that's hilarious.
Send it to the presses.
What?
Joy Simpson said, "Send it to the presses." Get that shit published. That'd be hilarious if the Star Press just published it without edit.
Published it. I need to make an account that's like DAN period Ridenour at Yahoo. Like he's still got a Yahoo account, so like I could. That would be hilarious.
What's that tell you?
Yeah, right.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
That's fun stuff. It almost looks like he just kind of edited his previous one and just kind of updated it for how things were actually going.
It's exactly like he just basically updated it. You know, I will tell you, he made it more truthful than the first one.
Well, that's good because he said honesty in the first one, so he was more honest in the second one than he
was definitely more honest in the second one. And I'll be honest. He like the first one I was real mad about and then I see that one, and I know that I laughed in that one, but the first one was much more of a joke, because reading the words in the first one and then looking at the last 4 years, it's like that had to be a joke, because he's not done one of these things. Yes, so I've had a lot of people ask me about this, and I want to make sure people are aware. I can get the Star Press, like their website. I can go to www.thestarpress.com. I'm blocked from them on Facebook.
I don't get that. Were you like posting weird stuff on their page or something?
No.
Like, I wonder what prompted it, I guess, is my question. Did you piss off someone at the Star Press?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously.
When am I not?
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't get that. They wouldn't they don't let me see their comments anymore. They don't let me engage. I never posted anything vulgar. Did you know that I wrote them about it?
I thought you said you were going to, but I don't know if I heard what happened.
Yeah, I did. I wrote them an email, and I was like, listen, I've never been vulgar on here. I've never cussed anybody. I've never threatened anybody. I have criticized you. I've criticized members of the government. And if you're telling me that you blocked me because you guys can't handle that, you are wildly in the wrong occupation.
Yeah.
So, they've never done anything to me. They've never done anything about it. They never got back to me. I asked them to get back with me and let me know why. Let me know who made that decision and how, when the decision was made, how the decision was made. But they never got back to me. It's what?
Well, it's dumb anyway, because I don't even get the point, because you can create another account and look at it. You can buy the newspaper. Yeah. You can go to their website. You can do all kinds of things. The only thing I guess I just don't get the point.
Well, they're stopping me from commenting on
as you,
as me. I might make a Christopher with a CH, Bilbrey, and go on and comment as Christopher Bilbrey.
Dude, you can spell Christopher so many ways. You could.
Yeah. It's spelled with an F.
Yeah, put an F in there instead of the PH.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Put an ad in the classifieds. In search of newspaper that doesn't block me.
So many people automatically spell my name with an F.
Bilbrey.
What?
I like the spelling that Joey just put on there. Christopher Bilbrey. That's a me.
That's good. Let me go. No, they've still. Man, this is so. Look here. I just went here. Speaking of people who haven't done anything about emails I've sent, I went to the Republican page, and they still haven't listed Andrew Popp as a candidate in there. And look, it's not because I'm like a massive Andrew Popp fan one way or another. It's just, this is gross. This is not a legitimate ballot.
No. Yeah, it's not. It says it says the Muncie Municipal General Election ballot. That's not the ballot looks like. You're misleading voters, because that's not what they're going to see on the ballot. Whether you like them or not, when they pull a ballot, they're like, wait, who the hell's this other guy on there? It's just, it's misleading.
Yeah.
If you called this anything else, like you just called it like candidates for the election, I'd be like, okay, you left some candidates off. I guess you can do that. You can put just Republican candidates if you want, but I agree with you. If it says it's the general election ballot, this isn't the ballot.
Yeah.
It's just literally not what they say it is.
Yeah. Joey, I got to be honest. I've been critical of the Star Press for years, because although I'm not a news guy, I beat them quite frequently to topics and issues, and I'm critical of them because of that, because I'm like, we have a very limited team and resources here, and they've got the weight of being a whole newspaper that's been in public and in circulation since the beginning of Muncie, and they can't do any better than what they're doing. It's really ridiculous.
They started doing some good stuff. You're giving them credit for it too, though.
I did start giving them credit, and yet here they were, just continuing to do all of this stupid stuff that they were doing, and it's like, what are you guys like? Why would you do what you're currently doing? And they blocked. I guess they didn't want me to be a part of the fun and enjoyment that is the Star Press Online. Real quick before we wrap up here, since this has kind of been a catch-all, hey, is Audie Barber still here? 44.
I don't see him say anything for a minute.
I don't know if Audie Barber's still here or if Darla's still
Passed
here.
out, man.
Or they're down and they're doing. Yeah, they should be glad. They've gotten a lot of fun stuff from me.
Audie's not here, man.
I want to go over these pictures real quick with the people.
Whoa! You can see right in Audie's window. Weird.
Yeah. See what him and Darla are doing in that one?
What is he wearing?
Yeah, it's really weird. Looks like
Oh my god, how did that fit?
Yeah, right. Well,
these are fun pictures. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I wish he would be here to see him, but nevertheless,
about to get demonetized.
Yeah, we are. This is definitely, folks. You're seeing out of control stuff right here, and I'll probably go over these again in next week's real live. I mean, this is a real life episode 53, but it's Saturday, so nobody knows we're on. So I'll probably go through this next week, but look at this real quick. I want people to understand. Oh, Audie, okay. Last night I got up and I walked around the jail. They keep telling us that this jail situation is going to be done soon. They keep telling us that this jail, the building's going to be done soon. Okay, now, granted, I'm only on the bottom level, so I can't see into the top windows, but I did as best as I could to get pictures from those top windows. But this is the downstairs area where it's supposed to be a finished parking garage. I want you to look. This is just boxes. There's nothing. No, I mean, look how unfinished all of this is. All right. This is looking in the front doors where we used to walk in. Like where we're standing is the exact front door entrance. And this is looking just a little bit to the left of where the security people would wait. And that where I'm looking off to is off to where Circuit Court 1 and Circuit Court 2 and 3 used to be, off to the left. All right. So now we're gonna pan to the right a little bit.
Looks like a job site.
Yeah, it looks like a job. Yeah, it looks exactly like a job site with nothing done. This looks like an inside.
Yeah, it looks like it was gutted, and now they're just storing shit in there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say active job site, but I don't know if it looks like they're actively doing anything here. It looks like they're storing stuff for the rest of the work they're doing. Yeah,
right. Okay, so here's the stairs to get upstairs to the jail. All right, you guys all, I mean, for anyone that's ever been inside there, look, like here, right here, you see where the tile is? That was the floor. You see back here where it's just cement on this side? This is where the little glass atrium was that you'd get in, go into the double doors, and then you'd be here. Back here, like where the truck is sitting is over by where the restrooms used to be, where the restrooms, like the men's and women's, like the men's were on the back of the truck and the women's were up by the front.
Wasn't this supposed to be done in like January?
It was supposed to be open this month. Now they're saying it's going to be open in 3 months. I want you guys to look at these pictures, and at the end of these pictures, I want you to tell me if this is going to be done by December.
Oh, no, they were supposed to, like, we were supposed to, or Muncie was supposed to be stop paying their bills in like January, right? But
Yeah,
it
and
didn't.
that happened.
Oh, it did end up happening.
Yeah, they did stop paying the utilities thing.
Okay.
But wait a minute.
What did you do? Ooh, look, there's parking in there. They got a scooter. They got a truck. Scoot, scoot.
There was somebody in this truck the whole time I was taking a picture of it.
So is this just looking into an open door? You're doing this?
Yeah. Okay. Those garage doors are looking out onto High Street to give everybody the understanding. So this is like back in here where the cursor is, would be like Circuit Court 3. This would have been like, or that's Circuit Court 3. This was Circuit Court 2. Back here would have been Circuit Court 1.
Is there, oh, there's another car in there. Is there an obligation to be done in December? Do they have like a date they're supposed to be done, or is that just what they're telling us?
That's what Dan keeps telling us. I think there's people living in here, to be honest with you. I'll show you why I think that here in a minute.
I want to go to Savages. That's all I know.
What?
I want to go to Savages now.
Yes, right. Okay. Here's over to where like the sheriff's department used to be, looking over to the right.
Ooh, look at that lovely furniture.
It's like, what are you guys doing with all this? Okay, now
cabinets install.
Now we're looking upstairs now, and that's where like the living quarters are supposed to be, and that still looks like the same material up here on these beams as was on the roof, like that coating. You know, like you see where the mouse is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look there, and tell me if that part right here looks the same as this stuff. These beams, like what's sprayed on these beams. See how it's like this stuff sprayed on this insulation or whatever it is? It looks like the same shit that's sprayed on this stuff is the same thing.
So do they have people already lined up to rent these?
I don't know. Not rent, to own them. See, it looks like the same to me.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if they've got... Dan keeps saying yes, but it's Dan, so I don't know.
Oh, people have to buy these things?
Mm-hmm. Now, look. This is looking in. To me, this still looks like the jail cell. They've just ripped doors out. Here's the steps. They put some stools in here. This does not look anywhere. There's no way that people are going to be living here in 2 months. There is no way in hell. Oh, yeah, look. This is the bathroom. No way. No way.
Oh, that is like a tile wall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the old public bathroom? Or
no,
like a
I'm joking. It's not a bathroom at all.
No, dude, it's like that's where they used to drop the soap.
Right. Like, look here. They've got, this is nice. I think this is probably one of their personal bedrooms. I see this now. This looks nice up in here, but this still looks like the jail.
Is that, did they just like block over the old windows? Is that what those vertical stripes are? Because didn't they used to have those really narrow cell windows like that?
Yeah. I don't know if they did or not. I don't know because they had so many there. This is so weird.
It's a strange setup.
Now, see, look at the difference. Look, this is the different side of the building. Like here, it looks nice. Here it looks like they've actually done work in here. But look at that roofing and that area compared to this part back here, compared to like right here.
Yeah.
And here.
Well, for $600,000.
I want a tour. Now look at this. This is a jacuzzi.
Nice.
Up in this area. Now this looks like it, I don't know, it's done, but like why would they have a jacuzzi up there?
Hang out in the jacuzzi, watch the people stumbling out of savages.
Yeah, right.
They get drunk, think their boyfriend's still in there, start yelling up in the window and flashing it.
Right. Now
Dude,
here
these
looks
are
like it's done a little bit.
strange.
What?
It's strange.
It is so weird. Like I thought they were going to, I'll be honest, I thought they were going to change the structure of the building. I didn't know it was still going to look like a triangular prison.
Like a prison?
Yeah. I thought it was going to look like they were going to make it look like a luxury.
Like paint the brick or something?
Yeah. Well, I didn't
they
know.
could put like some cool murals on it or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Now look, this right here is still the honest to God jail door. I know that I've been in there. This is a jail door, and this is the jail. This is the walkway that wouldn't let people fall down to the place down below. Like, what's that doing in there? They cannot. That's the same picture where I'm at. They cannot tell me that people are going to be living here in 3 months. There's no way.
I can imagine sitting in a jacuzzi where some dude got a. Well, anyways, we'll just leave it alone. To Troy Chester's point, the building being full of there's bad mojo. We'll call it that.
Yeah, dude. No. Yeah, right. You want to talk about weird things? I mean, there's people that's definitely hung themselves and killed themselves in the jail.
Damn it, Alva, I already got that today.
What?
Plenty.
Here it is.
Yeah, I think Alva came in late, so I didn't hear Andrew Popp shit talking to me for like 5 minutes straight.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. So, yeah, that's pictures of the jail. I happened to be around there last night, and the sun was going down enough, and it was so lit up inside there that I could see. And I was like, I want to take a tour. I want to take a tour up there and see.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to peek in while I'm driving by, but you typically can't see anything.
What this is. Oh, if someone was asking what this was, I'm so sorry. I was off on another screen. Jackie got it. Yeah, this is photos of the former Downtown Justice Center.
That Dan gave away. Well, he got negative money for the city out of it. He paid $600,000 in utilities for several months to company to take it. And
they bought the building. They bought the building from the city of Muncie for $1. $100. $100. The city of Muncie gave them $600,000 for their effort,
as well as 2 of the condos, right? 1 or 2 of them.
They got 3 of the condos, father and 2 sons.
Oh, they all got their own condos out of it?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's only going to be 15 condos in it.
So 20% of the condos?
Yeah. And parking spaces.
Oh, and that's what the city gets out of it, right? Some parking?
Yeah. No, they don't get it. They pay for it. Almost $1 million over 30 years.
Oh, and then the city gets to pay to rent parking?
Yeah. Totally insane, man. Just, I can see a goth community. Listen.
A goth community? It's going to be like the members of Rammstein are going to live in there.
Have you heard about the singer of them? How where they are?
Oh, I love Rammstein, dude. I like to see them in concert.
Don't go
Have you seen their
partying
show?
with
Have
the
you
guy.
seen their live shit?
Yeah.
Like the guitars shooting flames and stuff out?
Yeah, just don't go partying with him. I've heard he's into some weird stuff.
Oh, I bet. I'm not going to party with him.
Mm,
Maybe if you invited me. I don't know what he does, though.
that's right, right. Now, I want you to look at this. I gotta find these. I gotta be real careful because this is not. Okay. Show you here now. Hold on, I'm looking. Not back here.
We don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, sorry. Stand by 1 second here, folks.
Standing by.
I'm trying to. There was a video, actually, a video inside.
Troy, when we were looking at Troy Chester, when we were looking at houses, my wife and I, every time we looked at a house, every time we still look at a house, because every once in a while we consider moving, but she always asks if someone died in the house, and I think they have to tell you if they did.
I think that I don't think that's true.
I don't know. They've always told us.
What have they told you? Yes, they did, or no, they didn't.
Well, it depends. Last one we went to, like, yeah, I think they died in the kitchen here.
Did they
Okay.
really?
Yeah, like, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's been a couple where, like, yeah, that's why the house is for sale, because they died right here. Like, one was, like, some woman, like, died at the kitchen table or something, like, fell over, like, died on the floor in the kitchen. It's like, well.
Why would your wife not live in a house where someone died?
I guess. I don't know. I don't care. I would just not ask. I'd rather just not ask and not care.
Well, I mean, because here's the deal. I can't find what I was looking for. Anyways, there was a video of a young kid. I mean, young kid. I mean, like in their late teens or 20s, swinging on a rope, jumping down from like this top part, swinging on a rope that they were sitting on inside the jail. It was just a bunch of kids playing in there. It's like, what the hell? Like during this construction phase, I'm like, well, no wonder this is not, it's not getting done.
Just swanging around.
Yeah, that's just playing some John Anderson, just a swanging.
Swanging.
I was real shocked that they showed. Oh, hold on here, and they might be right here. Matter of fact, but that's a really weird thing that you were talking about that because, you know, unless you're, oh yeah, right here. Here we go. Here we go again. I don't want to show the names or anything here. So, okay, here we go. This is a picture inside the jail. And I'll tell you when this is from. This is from September.
Yeah, I remember that, Amy.
What?
When all the barely dressed girls would stand there and flash their boyfriends and their inmate friends. Deputies would sit and laugh and watch. Then somebody came, they had to fan them off. Like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah, okay, so this is inside the jail. There's a picture inside of it.
What's this naked guy doing?
What?
The dude just sitting there shirtless?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me click back here. I'm going to jump on and show you here another picture. Second, let me trying to be respectful of these people's privacy while not being respectful of their privacy.
There you go.
Oh, I'm close.
You blew it.
Okay, so the no, going back to what you were saying, unless you're buying a relatively new home, meaning like a home in the last 10 or 15 years,
There's probably someone died in it.
the chances of someone dying in your home, the home that you live in, is quite great.
Mm.
You know, and especially if you think about a situation where, you know, you're just talking about natural death, somebody being, you know, 90 years old and dying, or, you know, whatever. I'm not talking about murder, you know. But it's always interests me. And this is kind of a Halloween-y type thing. It always interests me, things like that. Like, why would people not want to live where a really bad murder took place?
Yeah, what are the odds a really bad murder is going to happen twice?
It's like lightning striking. It's like, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer came in and ate the whole family out. Ate a couple people down. Ted Bundy came and killed him. That's what I was trying to say. And they came and killed him. Ted Bundy came and killed the people with a screwdriver.
Look, now his stomach's full. He's not going to come eat us.
He's not going to come get. Yeah, he's already caught everything. So that's always a really weird thing to me. That's always a really weird thing to me. Is like, why don't people want to?
They want ghosts in their house, man.
Live. Yeah.
You want ghosts in your house?
What? Oh, so you're afraid? What? So
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
So can a ghost only occur when it's a really bad death?
No, it occurs when someone has to die to become a ghost, I would assume.
What?
What?
Wait a minute, Alva. Is that for real? When did Election Day occur? Today? What's going on down there? Did anybody win or lose? What do we know?
Or draw?
Happening? Did that really happen and you've not told us about it? 2023, Louisiana. Holy shit. Upcoming Louisiana election, October 14th.
Oh, wow.
That's primary. So this is their primary? What is this?
That's a weird time for a primary.
So, upcoming Louisiana elections, October 23rd. This is funky. Look at this. Registration deadlines by mail, Wednesday, September 13th. In person, Wednesday, September 13th. Online, Saturday, September 23rd. Get registered.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So they can register pretty late, too, if their election's on the 14th.
Yeah, 14th of October. Okay. So Wednesday. All right, so that's the primary. Man, this is the way it needs to be done.
Oh, then the general's on the 18th.
a Saturday too.
Interesting.
Dude, this is the way to have an election.
And you have up till a month before to get registered. Well, I guess it's about the same as us.
You Cajuns don't play.
They're spicy.
Yeah. Having a primary in October and a general, bam, a month later. Holy crap.
Gubernatorial race today.
And
well,
then
it's primary day, right?
Yeah. And then bam, March 2024. They have a primary. That's the presidential preference primary and the municipal primary. And then what happens in April 2024?
Well, that's the municipal general.
Municipal general. Jeez.
Jeff Landry. Oh, and y'all vote for your lieutenant governor.
It don't look good for who? For what? Tell me what you're talking about. Who's doing what?
Well, they got Jeff Landry. They got William Nungesser. He don't guess none. He knows.
Republican Jeff Landry wins the Louisiana governor's race, reclaims office for GOP. What do you mean? Is that not good? Is that not what you want? Who do you want to win down there? Alva?
He's rooting for Keatron Gagnon.
What? Is that his name?
I mean, he's one of the candidates. Or Zanjon. That's a fun one.
And job?
That's what I said. Zanjon. Sounded a lot like what you just said.
Wait, where?
Ben Barnes, isn't that a superhero?
What is going on down in?
Well, in the open primary, the second place Republican was like 5.9% compared to Landry's 51.6%.
Yes, Attorney General Jeff Landry will probably be the new governor.
Landry smoked.
Thank God we don't have election-style elections.
And their incumbent lieutenant governor
style.
destroyed in the primary.
That's interesting.
That's weird.
Well, alrighty.
Well,
You ready to call this thing a day?
I'd say so.
Bill Nungesser's the guy in charge of tourism.
Oh, Billy Nungesser. I'll tell you how much I guess. None.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for jumping on here and talking with us and having fun.
Yeah, I need a governor's mansion down in Louisiana. I'm going to run.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
The governor's mansion? That's sweet.
I don't want to live in the governor's mansion. I want to live in the jail uptown
Oh, that's even better.
with all the dead inmates.
Oh my gosh, it's so haunted. All the dead inmates.
Hey.
Kate disappeared.
Dead inmates are better than live inmates. That sounds horrible, but I guess if they're bad guys.
Guess so. Well, all right.
All right. Well, we are going to try to do this without Kate because she is MIA at the moment.
She checked out on it. She said, nope.
Yeah, she's like, no, she was afraid of ghost. Got out of Dodge. Well, Brandon, thank you for popping on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please share this show. It was an interview we had a candidate on here eventually. I can't believe it. It was Steve Craig. Check him out. Look at his stuff wherever he's at. Also, everything else that we talked about. I don't know what it was, but
What even happened?
It was Saturday night. We'll see you guys. I'll be back on tomorrow. Brandon will be back whenever. He's Brandon. And we will see you all then. Until then, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Goodbye.
Peace.
Don't vote for this person. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, I'll probably be on more often.
Whenever, yeah. You're always welcome here, little buddy.
Once we got what to talk about.
You can call me Skipper. I'll call you little buddy. Little buddy?